Hey, so have you ever thought about making a rubber band ball? I did. I'm going to show you how to do it. I started this in the 5th grade, so I've had this a really long time. And I just kept adding to it over the years and moving with it, taking it with me everywhere I go. It's pretty huge. You can't even tell, I don't think, on screen how big this really is. But anywho, I love it. So this is Mr. Ball. And it's usually all multicolored, but I put all these blue over it so that you'll be able to really tell what I'm talking about as I go through this. There's a couple of really important things. One is it has to start with only rubber bands. There can be nothing inside it. I don't care, no piece of tape, no nothing. Inside, when you start your rubber band from the beginning using only rubber bands. It can only be rubber bands. That's rule 1, lesson 1, whatever you want to call it. Next thing is very important is to have a pattern. When it's small, it's not as important necessarily, but it's still important to have a pattern, to have a system. Because a lot of times you'll see people's rubber band balls and they'll be off center, they'll be lopsided, or like they'll be, once they start getting big, they're not really a ball anymore, they're not round. This thing is dang near a perfect circle, and it's because I follow a specific pattern that I've worked out over the years. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so, first off, when you put your band on, if it's a thin one like these here are 117s, file bands, and they're really skinny, I got these thicker ones for the purpose of this video so that I can so you'll be able to see the pattern easier. But anywho, you'll want to make sure that it's flat when it's this wide all the way around to create a good tight pattern. And so let's get into it. First off, never spin the ball. If you spin the ball when you're putting them on, it's gonna get onto the wood, and that rubber is going to twist, and it's going to mess up your pattern. It's going to twist it and mess it up. You don't want to spin it. I'll show you how to do it. So take your rubber band, have it flat in your hand. You do that. Well, hold on. I got to do it slower so you can see. If not, I'd be like, what? What'd you do? Okay, so anyways, put it over top, pushing it around, and then you roll it forward, and you grab it underneath, and you roll it backwards, and do that. And now you're gonna, like I said, roll it back and forth or pick it up, and you're gonna make sure that it's not twisted, but that it's all the way around flat. Like I said, you roll it, so you don't twist it. If you need to spin it, then you do this, so you don't mess up your rubber bands. Now the next one we're gonna cross where that one just went. So, get it flat, push it here so it's flat, do that, go around it, there we go. And now, as you see, we have an X. Now, most people are going to think, oh, okay, so then you just do this and just do that. No, don't get ahead of me. No, if you did that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, eventually it's gonna become like a football because you're going off this. So you don't want to do that. Now that you have this X, we're gonna come over here and do another one. So you have your X here. And do it around. Straighten this up. If you're gonna do something, do it right. If you're consistent, you get somewhere. Just adding little rubber bands here and there gets this. I couldn't imagine how many hours have been spent on this over its time, you know. But I don't know, when I'm doing it, it just, like, it takes you aback because I've been consistently doing it a little bit here and there for my, well, almost whole life, been since 5th grade, so what are you, like 10? I don't know. One X here, we have one X here, now we're going to flip it again, so that we have an X on this side, you have X here, you have X here, X here, X here. You can start to see you get little X's everywhere. So move to your next open spot, and we're going to create another X. basically what you end up doing is you're creating a whole lot of X's everywhere, and you cover up one color with the other color. Now if you're doing multicolors, it's a lot harder to keep track of where you were. You know, once your ball gets this big, you've done it enough that you can do the multicolors and still maintain that circle. So go to the next spot where it has the open spot here, no X. We're going to go all the way around, make another X. Get that twist out. There we go. And now as you see, as you start to come around, the X's should never be going in with each other. Like this should not cross there. So see, my next X, here is the first one. Now this one is coming around and going on the side of it. The other ones will be here, you know, and it'll work on out. So we'll come over here. Here's your other X, see? Now we're going to come right here. To put that there, we're going to flip it around, make sure it's straight. Make sure it goes all the way around the ball in a circle, not on the side or whatever. It needs to be always perfectly in the middle. Perfectly in the middle. Always perfectly in the middle. You move the ball, you move yourself. Now, spin this thing. Twist it. Alright, and see, now this one is over this one. Twist. And the twisting thing isn't the end of the world if you get a twist in it here and there, but if you try from the beginning not to have one, you're going to have a lot fewer of them. And it is going to get covered up, it's going to get flattened down. I'm just kind of particular when it comes to these. That's another reason why I prefer to use the skinnier ones. It takes more to coat the ball. Alright, so we've got a nice circle here. I'm going to slide this over just a little bit and I'll show you why. So see, right there's your other X. So we're sliding it over so it's just beside that other X. And then just beside that other X, see? Just beside this other X. So you can start to see the pattern here. Or at least hopefully you can. Next, you grab one. And you see here our big X from before. So we're going to cut it right here. See? Just like that. And the reason I'm pulling this up is because it's really tight in some spots and not in the other. If you let it be tight like that in some areas and not in the other, then what's going to happen is that rubber band is going to get worn on one side and it's going to be more prone to snapping, and you don't want that. Okay, so I said before, the most important thing is that it's all rubber bands. The beginning cannot have anything but rubber bands in it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two was the pattern. Okay, so we have nothing but rubber bands, number one. And then the pattern was number two. Okay, so the next one is going to be, you have to always be adding rubber bands. If you stop adding rubber bands and you let it sit for a few months, there's a very good chance that your rubber bands could get dry rotted and start popping. You let it go too long, it'll just all fall apart. You don't want that, especially if it's this big, you know, you put that much time into it. So, by adding them, you're always putting new ones over it. And by always putting new ones over it, then you're holding in all the rest of the rubber bands. If you were to just let it go, like I said, it would just dry rot eventually, depending on the humidity of where you're keeping it and everything. So, now as you can see, it's starting to have a nice little pattern of openness, where it's like going over certain spots, but it's not overlapping to create bulges. Because that's what this is all about, is preventing bulges from occurring. You don't want bulges. That's not a rubber band ball, that's a rubber band bulge. rubber band ball, just another rubber band ball. I love doing this. It's just, I don't know, it's relaxing. So, anywho, also cool thing is as it gets bigger, you get stronger, and then you can start working out with it. I like to take this thing sometimes and do like lifts like this, or like stand up and do curls and stuff. Super heavy. Anywho, moving along. We're gonna go around and hit it right here. You see this openness? So we want to hit that. Woo! That's trying to allow the camera to see it, so I have my arm over. Anywho, normally this goes a lot faster too. It's not a speed thing for me. Like I'm not, like when I do it, I'm not like trying to do it fast. I just enjoy it. To add some to it, it's relaxing. I guess kind of like a meditation almost. But I really enjoy it. Maybe I should start meditation. Rubber band ball meditation. And it's just fun. I love to see people's faces when they come over and they see it in person. It's hilarious. It's such a magical look on their face. No matter how old they are, you get to see their childhood surprised face, and that's really cool. I'm thinking about taking it to book readings when because my children's book will be out in the fall. So when it comes out, I'm going to be doing school readings and library readings and stuff like that. It would be really cute to take it with me. I bet you the kids would really like that. Comment. If you think that's a good idea to take it with me to the readings. Obviously, it's really heavy to have to lug around. I have to I'll put it on a wagon or something. As you can see, it starts to almost look like a planet. I don't know, with the new color going over it. It's gonna be a red ball. Red ball. So, making sure there's no thing on it. Roll. Remember, no spinning. And then I found the new pattern. Wiener dog is bent. Hello. How you can hang out there? This is like my little Mija. Mija, whenever I drive, I'll put it right here. She always gets right there. It's hilarious. So I made this. So I was like, hey. Alright, then we're going to move this over. Because see where I put that? See how it's going over here and you got a bunch of them crisscrossing right there? You don't want that. It's going to make a bulge. So we're going to slide this over. Now eventually, obviously, that's going to happen. But you don't want that to happen like that until you cover the whole area of the ball with the new coating. And if you see it, it's not a big deal. Just slide it like that. And then continue to put them on. So that's basically it. You're creating almost like a net around it. As you see, it's pretty evenly distributed though. Hopefully you can see that. Last one in my bag. It's like super sized bands for garbage cans. 4 ounces. Takes 4 of those to make a pound. Alright, so I just added a 1/4 pound to my ball. So, as you see, it's pretty evenly spread throughout. Let me bring it up here. See? So it gets evenly spread throughout and it doesn't overlap. No, just want this 1X, like on there, you know. If it goes to double up like this, if it was like that, then you'd want to move it over. So you get little V's everywhere, like, see? So that's basically it, and you just keep on keeping on. Well, I don't have to get it that big, but I do want it the size of a Swiss ball. So my goal is to get this puppy the size of a Swiss ball. It'll happen eventually, because I'm just going to keep adding to it over the years. So, yeah. Alright, so I guess that's about it for now. Until later, much love. Be yourself.